good to see you again. Thank you so much for being here. This week I filmed another vlog style video for you, and I'm just going to show you some things that I did during the week. Some painting, drawing, walking in the forest and baking as well. It's still full-on winter here, so I'm sitting here in my chunky knit. So I hope you have some tea and a snack ready and that you enjoyed this video. In February I had this crazy idea that I should try to do a painting challenge. I've never really done much challenges because I'm a perfectionist and I really fear failure. So I would always be scared that I couldn't keep up with the challenge and that I'd just completely quit after missing a day or two. But this time I decided to do things differently, and instead of focusing on doing the challenge perfectly, I'm focusing on just doing something every day. So I started this 30-day painting challenge that I've shared on Instagram every day. I try to finish 30 small paintings in my sketchbook during the month of March. I'm also filming the challenge, so please look forward to the future videos. This year I decided I'm finally going to knit a jumper. I've done lots of socks, woolly hats and mittens in the past, but never a full jumper. It just seems very daunting to me. So this year I'm finally going to make one. I chose this beautiful forest green color for it, and every night I light up my salt crystal lamps and sit on the sofa knitting. So far it's been quite fun. It's finally March now, the sun is shining more often and the days are getting longer again. There's still a lot of snow and the lakes are covered in a thick layer of ice, so every day I go on a walk on the lake with my dog Osku. We live right next to a lake, so it's really nice to go out there every day. The sun is so bright, but it's still around -10 Celsius degrees. For the past couple of months I've been working on this portrait study. The reference photo is by Xenia Lau. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, so I'm just going to write the name on the screen now. But yeah, some of you have already seen this on Instagram, and yeah, I would really like to show you how I achieve this kind of very smooth skin with colored pencils. So yeah, this area, it's not going to be perfect because it will be covered with hair, so I didn't quite blend it perfectly from there. But yeah, you get the point. I'm going to show you how I color skin. start with polychromos pencils. First, a very light layer with the color light flesh, and then another light layer with the color ivory. This is my base layer, and any time when coloring light skin tones, I start with these two. I move the pencil in a slightly oval shape, making sure that I change the direction on the following layers. After the base, I'm moving on to using luminance pencils, which are wax-based and very smooth to work with. But again, I'm almost not pressing at all. I'm careful to not break the tooth of the paper. Basically, I want to build up the skin tone with different shades first. So for the shadow areas, I'm first using Luminance 745 Dark Flesh, 40%. Then with 832 Brown Ochre, 10%, I'm going over the entire area to make sure that the skin will have a more yellow undertone rather than pink. I'm going back and forth with these two a few times. I'm also going to use 037 Brown Ochre to really bring out that beautiful yellowish undertone in the shadow parts as well. Now you can see that the layers are starting to build up and the tooth of the paper is being slowly filled. This makes sure that when I start blending everything, no white will be seen under the drawing, and most of the pencil strokes will be hidden as well. Next, I'm using 801 Buff Titanium, which is my go-to pencil for blending very light skin tones, but for this piece I'll be only using it for the highlighted areas. And again, I'm going back and forth with the previously mentioned colors to make sure everything is ready for blending. Oh, and my paper for this piece is my trusty Fabriano Academia 160 grams per square meter. It's my favorite paper for portraits. Okay, now I'm going to start blending. For the first blending layer, I'm pressing more than before, but still careful not to push down the tooth of the paper. I'm going over the entire highlight area with brown ochre 10% and the shadow area with brown ochre and dark flesh 40%. After this, I'm using the burnishing method. So basically, after layering all the undertones and creating a slightly too dark tone, I'm using a lighter tone to blend everything together, push down the tooth of the paper and really achieve that smooth skin. This method is my favorite for achieving very blended look with colored pencils. After that, I'll just use a light brown polychromos pencil to add some freckles and details to the skin. I hope you liked this small tutorial.